Hey, we're cooking with gas here. On the Jewcast.
Okay, careful using a phrase like that.
This trial is a travesty. It's a travesty of a mockery, of a sham, of a mockery, of a travesty, of two mockeries, of a sham.
Tradition!
Oh, shut up, Carl! Shut your goddamn Jew mouth! You people are why there's war in the Middle East!
Gekakken auf ein Jahr.
Nebbig.
Ver poo-poo-poo.
Vermischt.
Verkackt.
Vertutzt.
Verstonken.
Farted.
Exactly.
You're what Grammy Hall would call a real Jew.
All right, hey.
Oh, my God.
We were forced into quarantine and we took a break.
Well, listen, not even this quarantine, this coronavirus, is going to keep your favorite American Jews from coming into your ears.
Hey, yeah, that's right. We're talking via Skype because we are loyal. Screw you, Zoom.
Well, also, you know, there's no shows. There's nothing to do. There's nowhere to go. I mean, I would go out if there was anything to do. I got a N95 mask.
Oh, you got an N95 mask? Well, that's good.
I mean, I'm still trying to keep the social...
Just use their yarmulkes now because they were telling people that they need to, you know, make their own masks now so that they could save the good masks for the medical professionals. So Jews have the yarmulke ready for the mask. Just move from your head to your mouth.
I think it's, yeah, Trump is saying you should use a scarf because it's thicker. No, a yarmulke is the right shape already.
It's thick, it's sharp, it's a good idea. You know, it's tough for these Jews because especially the ultra-Orthodox Jews, they just think, hey, we're in God's hands, we're not going to get sick. Next thing you know, they're all praying together, coughing all over each other, getting sick.
It's crazy. It's not just the ultra-Orthodox Jews. There's a lot of Christians doing that, too. There's a lot of, you know, pastors and whatnot saying they're keeping their churches open.
But this isn't the American Christian podcast.
I know, I'm just saying.
We're talking about the Jews, Jordan.
Well, I find it interesting that the correlation between the ultra-Orthodox of all religions is having this issue, that it's not just the Jews. I mean, there's always the conspiracies out there about because anti-Semitism doesn't sleep. You know, anti-Semitism does not self-isolate. That shit still runs rampant.
Does not go on quarantine. I wish we could social distance from anti-Semitism, but unfortunately, it's still here. And apparently, it wasn't the Chinese who created the coronavirus. It was us.
It's insane that's a thing people are saying. Although, you know, apparently the Black Death in the 1300s was like one of the first major pandemics, and they blamed the Jews for that also.
Hey, man, whenever there's something wrong, the Jews are an easy target. It's like, let's blame the Jews. Is that a South Park song? It feels like it should be. Blame the Jews.
It sounds like it should be. That's for sure.
Or we should write a song. Just blame the Jews when anything goes wrong. Your dog shit on the rug? Blame the Jews. Your wife stepping out on you? Blame the Jews. Coronavirus? Total Jew disease.
Well, you know, Netanyahu is very similar to Trump in the way that he's handling the outbreak over there.
Oh, yeah? I haven't done a lot of reading about it. What's he doing?
He's just, you know...
telling everyone he's doing a tremendous job?
Something like that, yeah.
I mean, like Trump or not, how do people not get sick of him just being like, we're doing a good job, everything's going great, tremendous job, we're doing so great. Every press conference he has, half of it is just him patting himself on the back about how great of a job he's doing.
You know, the hardest part as a Jew stuck inside is that the only food you have to complain about is the stuff you just cooked.
I guess.
Man, some of my jokes are really falling flat in this age.
Yeah, I don't know. This one that was a quick jump from Trump to a good Borscht joke. Well, the only food you're gonna have to complain about is the food you make yourself. I don't know why I'm doing a weird Seinfeld about it, but
listen, Jonathan, it's our sense of humor that has sustained us as a people for thousands of years. We need to have the jokes.
Is that what it is? I thought it was our control of the banks.
I mean, that helped.
You know, the last big gathering I was in was I went to a Purim service.
Oh, really? You celebrated Purim?
I celebrated Purim. My friends. They love the Kabbalah Center. They're really into Judaism. They're not Jewish, but they love it there. And I wrote him that day, and I was like, "Hey, what are you up to tonight?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm going to the Kabbalah Center. Come. I want you to come. I'll buy you." your ticket.
I've always maintained as Americans, we love any excuse to get together and get drunk, and Purim is like one of our good Jewish drinking holidays. So
I did get pretty drunk.
it does make sense
I
to
went
me
there,
that it would attract a non-Jewish audience just for the drinking.
Okay, sure. I mean, they could have just went to a bar, but I guess the non-Jewish people were there. I guess Kabbalah Center doesn't discriminate. It was a very bizarre Purim. They don't scream out at Haman's name. They don't make any noises.
They don't make any noises.
They don't make any noises. They just like say these letters that are one of God's names or something over, and they show it. It's so weird. Like everyone's quiet. I just wanted to like get like a grogger and be like, ah! But they're like, shut up, Jonathan. I'm like, oh, sorry. Like I didn't really want to stick out so much, but like that's like one of the biggest things of stupid Purim is doing that. I understand. That's like the number one thing of Purim is drown out Haman's name, and they're like, we don't do this. By the way, they had food there. Not a Hamantashen in sight.
Oh my God!
How do you have a Purim party with tons of food? Oh, sure, they had like Shake Shack or some crap, but they didn't have one Hamantashen.
A shanda. What kind of
That's what
booze?
I thought so.
What kind of drinks? What were the drinks like?
Basically whiskey, and they like Jim Beam. They had like a huge bottle of stuff. Then they were giving away these like weird little shots. That was okay. I don't know. I ended up making out with some shiksa on the dance floor who I didn't realize was too wasted till she was already tongue deep.
Happy Purim.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, she was dressed as an angel, and she took off her halo, and she put it on my head, and I was like, oh, come on. Couldn't be any better. And then 5-10 minutes later, I was like, oh man, this girl is completely wasted. What do I just like attract drunks? Do drunks just see me and be like, that's the guy?
It could be. I mean,
that's what it felt like. But I feel like I talked to about 4 women there, and not one of them was Jewish.
All right. Well, that, you do seem to attract.
I really had high hope.
You do seem to attract the shiksas.
Yeah, I don't know. I really had high hopes. I'm like, I'm going to go to this Purim party. I'm going to celebrate Purim. I'm going to, be Jewish. I'm going to meet a Jewish girl. It was like, yeah, that's a joke. And by the way, every girl there is named Rebecca. And I'm like, is this your Kabbalah name?
You attract all these women that are like, I want to learn about Judaism, and that's the guy that's going to teach me.
Maybe. I don't know what they think. Well, that's the tallest Jew in here, I think, is more what they think, but I'll take it. I'll teach them about Judaism.
Well, that's good. I think, Purim is at least a fun holiday to celebrate as the last thing that you do before the end of the world.
Yeah, I know. Who would have thought it went out like that? And he wasn't feeling well the last couple of weeks. I feel much better now, but I was like, oh, he probably got coronavirus from the stupid Purim party.
Seriously, I mean, you should at least, if you're a proper Jew, you don't get the plague until at least Passover.
Oh, that's right. It's coming up.
You like that segue?
I'd rather that perfect segue. Couldn't be better. There's going to be 11 plagues this year at the Seder table. We're not stopping at 10. Now we have coronavirus.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Trump.
Oh, no. I mean, that guy's more of a tumor.
I guess, yeah. Oh, boy. Well, listen, I don't know.
It's so frustrating because your mom hates Trump, but my mom fucking likes Trump. And I don't know how to talk to this person. I don't know how to be like, sometimes I'm like, she's talking about Trump and I'm like, how do I love you? How did I come from you? It doesn't make any sense. This guy is retarded.
Well, my mom is so blinded in her hatred of Trump that it's hard to have a conversation with her also.
Okay. I guess. No extreme is good.
Yeah, there's every conversation with my mother turns into her ranting about Trump, so I have to keep her at least 6 feet away as well.
Okay, so you always have to do the social distancing.
A little bit, I think. When you have a Jewish mother that sticks her nose into all of your business, you have to keep a little bit of social distancing.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
Passover's coming up. I heard some people said, oh, you should have your Seder over Zoom. Yeah. And then I just read that a rabbi in Israel said, no, you can't do that. You gotta take the risk.
I don't know. I've heard of a lot of people that are doing virtual Seders. I read some woman who was talking about like all this stuff that she's using this year for her Seder plate that she's going to use online that are just things that she had in her house, so she didn't even have to go to the store. So like her lamb shank bone is going to be a dog treat.
Okay.
She's using wasabi. She's using wasabi instead of horseradish.
All right. Wasabi yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. You know, there really isn't anything you can get as a substitute for gefilte fish that would be close. I don't know what she was doing for that.
Your Passover Seder. What's your family doing? Are they doing a Zoom Passover?
My mom literally just called me right now. I don't know what we're doing. I just had to decline a call from my mother in this last moment.
Okay. She probably realized we were talking about her. By the way, Purim, Passover Seder, it could be boring enough without having it over Zoom.
Yeah. It's going to, yeah. Listen, I'm almost out of matzah already anyway.
Oh, you had matzah.
I have. My parents sent me a single box, so I've been going through it.
Oh, okay. Just a little cream cheese in the morning.
A little butter, a little peanut butter.
Like butter and peanut butter. Okay. I was always a cream cheese fan on my matzah.
I'm hopeful that my mom still makes some nice big batch of harosas to send over because that's my favorite.
Okay. I always like the little sandwich. What is the Hillel sandwich they call it or something?
Right. That was always your favorite, right? With the horseradish and the.
You put it all together. You got like the romaine lettuce, and you put it inside. You fill the romaine lettuce with some charoset, and you put some like of the moror on top, and then you put it between. I like the shmura matzah. I don't like the other matzah. I like the old school.
Right.
I like the super Jew matzah.
Like the homemade. It's like not perfect, like the round ones.
Yeah, the round ones, or they want to be round, but it's not working out for them so well, and they're like a little burn on some edges. That's just the ones that I always liked.
Yeah. Hold on, let me just send a text to my mom because she's just called me twice now.
Uh-oh. It's sorry when Jewish mothers intervene. I like the Kraft matzah, you know? I'm not into that boxed up night at the supermarket kind of matzah. Wow, it's crazy. Yeah, last year we were at your Seder, very memorable Seder.
Yeah.
Where your I don't know what do they call her? Housekeeper? Her daughter had a fit.
This is gonna be,
tough.
It's gonna be we're talking about American Judaism, but we're also, every podcast is probably touching on how they're going a little stir crazy in the house.
Well, yeah, it's hard. I mean, it's been forced, over 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, it's been over 2 weeks. I've been stuck in the house. Been going to the corner just to
no end in sight. No end in sight.
Not yet. Yeah, no, they don't know when this is going to end yet. It's going to be another. We got another month of this.
It looks like it's going to be another month.
Well, yeah, it's going to be a month.
We're going to miss Passover. We're going to miss Easter.
We're going to miss 420.
And maybe we'll get around for May. Yeah, you won't be able to be passing the joint this year because of social. You don't want those droplets, those coronavirus droplets. I love it how everyone's pretty convinced that China is the one that's responsible for this disease, but there's still some idiots out there being like, nope, it's the Jews. It was the Chinese Jews in the Wuhan district eating those kosher bats. Bats aren't kosher.
Well, there are people out there now that are saying they won't eat at Chinese restaurants because of this.
They're boycotting all Chinese restaurants, or they're scared that they might get it because of Chinese people.
Right, that's what they're saying. That's the whole thing. Although I'm pretty sure it's probably not Jews saying that.
Yeah, the Chinese people were wearing the masks even before this happened.
Right.
So I kind of feel a little bit safer around them.
Well, what are the other conspiracy theories you've heard about this? Because I've heard a bunch of different ones. Besides the one
I haven't really heard a lot. You mentioned that the Jews are being blamed for it. Obviously, we get blamed for everything. Of course, the whole bat thing that it came from eating a bat. That's really all. And then there's some people that are saying that this is it's all just a lie. The coronavirus is just a flu. But if you get a vaccine for it, that's the real virus, and they're trying to kill you because they want to, I don't know, get Trump out of the office or something. Someone sent me some weird video like that.
That's one of the big ones that people are saying that it's a hoax by the Democrats to try to make President Trump look bad, which is insane. He does a pretty good job by himself.
He don't need to do anything to make him look bad. He just makes himself look bad.
He looks fat from every angle. Aesthetically, he's not a good-looking man, but I'm saying, he doesn't do a very good job of making his character shine either. Not even the My Pillow guy can make him look good.
Yeah. Anyways, he sucks. Everything sucks. I mean, this is what a weird time in history. Like, who would have thought we'd live through something like this? We watch all these movies about zombies or different viruses that go on and diseases, and we all just look at it as entertainment. And now, like, we're all shut in. We're all locked in. You can't see anybody. Jordan's got a cough, but it's probably because he won't quit smoking. So, hey, send a message to Jordon to quit smoking during coronavirus.
This would be a good time, probably.
This is a great time to quit smoking. And this is, and look at us. We're all locked in. A couple of weeks ago, everything was hunky-dory, out partying and having a good time. And now we are trapped inside. Everything's closed. I went for a walk yesterday. I had to get out. I felt like I was getting like atrophied in my knees or something from not moving enough. And everything's dead. Everything's closed. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Ghost town.
It's a ghost town out there. I mean, I go to the corner to my bodega just to get eggs or cigarettes or, a banana. But
okay, just a banana, nice.
But that's basically usually my only outing of the day. Sometimes I go a couple blocks further to go to my butcher, get some meat, get some vegetables, whatever for dinner.
Well, that's good. Is the butcher wearing a mask?
Yeah, the butcher's been wearing masks and gloves, and they're only letting 2 people into the store at a time.
Right. Yeah, it's so crazy because you don't know. Someone could have it and not show any symptoms, and you get it from them. I mean, this thing's just, it's out there in the world. In New York, where we live, is the epicenter.
There's also, I'm going to order liquor in. I found an app on my phone that you can order alcohol. They'll just bring it right to you.
That's great, Jordan. Thanks for making sure everybody knew what an alcoholic you were. You're just like, oh, I found an app that delivers liquor.
Yeah, I did. I get my liquor delivered. I get my weed guy comes right to me. He's wearing the mask and the gloves.
Oh, he's wearing the mask and the gloves when he drops it off?
Yeah, he's not taking any chances.
Well, that's good. You got to work.
He's an essential service.
For some.
I mean, are you out of weed yet?
I'm not out of weed, but I basically only smoked once in the last 2 weeks.
Oh, boy. Well, that's got to be some sort of a record.
No, it's not. It's trying to just be responsible, get some things done. I don't know. I mean, it's easy to get lost right now, just smoking weed and doing nothing,
Well, what have you been doing? What have you been doing?
Try to stay motivated. I've been doing some writing, and I wrote a script. I sent you one of my scripts.
Yep, I read the script
that I wrote. A kids show, which is a great thing to start talking about after talking about smoking weed. The weed had nothing to do with the creation of this kids show. I wrote the kids show, and been working on some other projects, trying to write some comedy. I did some reading. I read a book.
Look at you.
A whole book. My friends been trying to get me to read this dumb book for a year, and I'm I kept on reading it and being this book's stupid, I don't like it. And then I was just screw it, let me just read it. I'm trapped, there's nothing to do, I'm here all alone. So read that, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Of course, watching some TV and some movies and stuff, but...
What was the book?
I mean, it's called Real Love.
Real Love.
Yeah.
Was it as stupid as you thought it was going to be?
You know what? There are some insights in the book that I can get down with. But a lot of this, like, about, meditating on loving yourself and all this kind of stuff is just like, I'm not into it, And it just wants to be like, you gotta love yourself, but don't love yourself too much because then you're a narcissistic egomaniac jerk.
Well, could be true either way.
But loving yourself is so in these days, especially now. I've actually been loving myself so much that that's the true reason why there's been a run on toilet paper.
Well, did you see the note that the New York City health officials put out about sex during the coronavirus?
Yeah, I did. It was ridiculous what they put up. Stay away from group sex and no rimming.
No rimming.
Basically, that you should just have sex with yourself.
Yes. Finally, the city that's been telling everybody to go fuck themselves is being very specific about it.
Oh, hey now.
Bump.
Yeah, it's true. It's crazy that they put that out. These are crazy times. It's a weird time to be single. I was seeing some girls before this all started, and then now it's like, do you want to take a chance of seeing these people anymore? I don't know. I voted on no.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I met this girl. We're gonna have maybe next week do a Skype date.
Oh, a Skype date.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
We talked on the phone for like an hour, and we decided that that's like not a first date. That's like date 0 or -1.
Oh, really? Because I texted with the girl for an hour, and I was like, "This is our first date."
Oh, well, we talked on the phone for an hour, and we agreed that that's date 0.
Okay. Yeah, that's too good. I would have went definitely that's the first date. That puts you one step ahead. I would have been like, that's the first date. Skype is the second date. When we finally meet, it's like DTF,
Well, we'll see. She's not even in the city at the moment. She was out of state with her family.
Yeah. A lot of people, I guess that's probably a smart thing to do.
I guess, yeah. I mean, my parents are in the city. I haven't seen them in over 2 weeks now.
Yeah.
Although my mom did send me a care package, as I said, she sent me some matcha. She sent me some of her chicken soup.
Oh, that's good.
She sent me some toilet paper.
I actually ordered a bunch when I wasn't feeling that well. I ordered a bunch of chicken soup from Katz's Deli.
Ooh, nice.
My favorite. And so that was a nice little treat. They still stayed open, delivering some soup. But one time they tried to jip me on a matzo ball.
You weren't having
and
it,
of
huh?
course, I did the Jewish thing, and I complained. It's not a Jewish deli experience if you don't complain and try to get some of your money back.
Right? Or at least, have them right or wrong.
It's crazy. These are horrible, weird times.
Yeah, it is. Well, I'm glad that we got.
It's like a plague. I'm glad
that we got back on the mics here and did this. I think it's important that we've been for over a year. We've been pleading at you guys to send us a message, to reach out to us. Now's the perfect time.
Yeah, now you got nothing else to do. I mean, if you haven't listened to all the episodes, they're only 18 minutes each. You could listen to them all and still be bored for most of quarantine.
Yeah, this one's a little longer because, quite frankly, nobody's watching the clock in these days. So we're going to run a little longer than the 18 minutes. But still, there's plenty of time for you to also go and rate and review the show or send us an email at American Jew Podcast.
American Jew Podcast, Jordan. It's called American Jew Podcast.
I know,
but check out Jordan's other podcast, Where's the Grief, too.
Yeah, my other podcast, Where's the Grief, is primed to explode after all this because it's about talking about having lost loved ones. So there's probably going to be more.
Well, unfortunately, yes. I mean, the death toll is crazy.
Yeah, it is. I hope everyone's staying safe out there as well. Practice your social distancing. Stay inside. Keep jerking off if that's what it comes to.
Is that what it's going to take too? Everybody's just going to have really sore dicks after this, or clitorises.
Everyone's gonna have.
Sorry, did it?
Yeah, everyone's gonna have very soft genitals. Of all the lotions.
Well, hopefully they're using lotion and they're getting delivered. Yeah, I'm looking it up now. In the U.S., we have 200 165,417 cases and 6,780 deaths.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. And they were saying in New York, like, people are dying like every 10 minutes.
Is that right?
Yeah, New York has become like the epicenter of coronavirus in America, and yeah, people are like, it's crazy. They're like bringing.
I mean, it's a little early to start. I feel like it's a little early to start talking about how many people have recovered, because they're talking about the people. There are a lot of people in China who recovered and have now gotten it again.
Really?
Yeah, because they thought that
because I wasn't sure.
They thought they were safe from it. They went back out into public and bang, got it again.
So you can get it again, because some people have told me that, like, once you get, it's like the chicken pox, you know? They're like, once you get it, you can't get it again.
It's not the case.
Okay. So yeah, we're all going to be trapped for who knows how long. I was talking to some girl, and she's like, I'm like, oh, you want to go out when this is over? And she's like, that might not be for a year. And I was like, oh my God, please no. Please don't. That would be insane. Can you imagine if everybody just has to stay home for a year? 2020 is just going to be the worst year ever.
That's really also a terrible no to give. I mean, if you're going to be that transparently negative about it, just like, do you want to go out when all this is over? I think I'm washing my hair that night. That's what you should say. If you're going to be a fucking dick about it.
I don't think it was a hard no. I think she was really just being like, who knows when that's going to be. But yeah, you're right. That girl sucks anyways. It's so weird, because I noticed, like, with foreign women, if you ask them how long they've been in New York, they're really, like, put off by this question. But I'm like, people ask me how long I've been in New York. I don't care. Like, I'm not from here. Nobody's from here. Pretty honest question.
Yeah, nobody's from here. I'm from here.
I'm sorry. And this girl's English is horrible. She's been here 9 years. I'm like, how have you been here 9 years and not picked up better English?
Yeah, for sure.
I know 9-year-olds that speak better English than you.
Well, all right. We're at like 28 minutes here.
Oh, 28 minutes. We went 10 minutes over. Should we just keep going, or you feel like you got nothing more to talk about?
I mean, I feel like, we don't want to blow our whole load on the first one. We're going to come back again and do this again next week, right?
I feel like this is a lot of masturbatory talk that we've done on this episode.
I just feel like
at this point I'm going for 36 minutes, Jordan.
We're going to go for 36. Okay. I feel like,
yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's keep going. I've got more to talk about.
Have you watched anything good? Anything you recommend? I saw there's a new show on Netflix called, like, Unorthodox.
Well, hold on.
About a woman.
Before we get to to scripted shows, I have been watching Andrew Cuomo's briefings every morning, and I love them. And I think yesterday's briefing, where he had a chat with his brother Chris Cuomo on the air during his live coronavirus briefing, was hilarious. Did you watch that at all?
Really?
Yeah.
I did not watch it. What did they talk about?
Chris Cuomo, if you haven't heard, he has the coronavirus, and he's been quarantined in his basement. Multiple times, Andrew Cuomo kept saying, well, rule number one is you don't kick a brother when he's down, and he's down in the basement. He kept making that joke. But then Chris Cuomo came out and said that, the first night that he got quarantined, he had like a terrible fever dream, and he was explaining the fever dream to Cuomo. He's like, yeah, you were there, and you were in a ballerina outfit with a magic wand, and you were like doing pirouettes.
Wow, and this is part of their news conference.
This was part of their news conference, yeah. Chris Cuomo has a show on CNN also, and they were he had Andrew Cuomo on his show a few days before. The two of them together are hilarious. They're very funny. That's my favorite thing.
Well, that's good. New comedy team.
Yeah, definitely. They're ready to take that shit on the road. I'm enjoying watching them. I haven't been watching too much else. I've rewatched a lot of shit that I've already seen. I've been watching a lot of old Law and Orders just to remind myself of days when you could watch people out walking around the streets of New York, committing crimes in broad daylight.
Oh, those were the days.
Those were the days.
I feel like New York's not the best place to be during this. Like, I wish I was in. You were supposed to go to Hawaii, right? Did your trip get rescheduled?
The conference I was supposed to go to Hawaii for got rescheduled for January. So hopefully that still happens.
Still in Hawaii.
In Hawaii, yeah.
Okay, that's good. Because that'd be crappy if they like rescheduled it for like Baltimore. It's gonna be in Detroit instead of Hawaii. Well,
Right.
I saw there's a show on Netflix. I didn't watch it, but it's called Unorthodox.
Unorthodox?
And it's about like some like old what?
It's called Unorthodox.
Yeah. It's about, I guess, some woman who's like grows up in one of these like Hasidic communities and is married and just like escapes to like Europe to try to like get away from it all.
Okay. So is this like an art imitating life thing, or this was going to be a thing anyway?
No, this was just a regular show that was going to come out before about, I guess just this woman who I guess felt trapped in her life growing up Orthodox, having this community where they just wanted her to do her like womanly duties, be a mother, what have you, and she didn't want to do that and she escaped. But I guess it's interesting that it's shining a light on that because a lot of people feel trapped like that. You know, there's a whole world out there and they're brainwashed by this indoctrination that takes place with them as children.
Right. This is a show or a movie?
I think it's like a 4-episode series on Netflix.
Okay.
And on HBO, there's a show too about like right after World War II that has to do with Jewish people too, based on like a book.
Okay.
I haven't watched that one.
I watched Hunters.
But,
we talked about Hunters a few weeks ago. Did you finish watching Hunters?
About Hunters. If you I finished it. Yeah. If you haven't seen it, it's a good show for Jewish people to watch during the quarantine.
I guess. I did not like the ending.
You didn't like the ending?
No. Deeply unsatisfied.
I thought it was good. Well, you're very critical of things. I feel like I have a more of like whatever. It's just a TV show kind of attitude about it.
I was expecting more out of it. What else have I watched? I watched yesterday.
Oh, it's called The Plot Against America is the show on HBO.
Okay. Did I watch any other Jewish stuff? I mean, I've watched, a lot of Mel Brooks movies.
That's kind of Jewish.
I watched Spaceballs a couple times, Young Frankenstein, and, feel pretty Jewy when that comes on.
Okay, Young Frankenstein. Well, that's good. You're keeping busy with with Brooks movies during this time. Everybody could discover new things. It must be hard for people that are trapped with like their kids, especially a lot of super religious people that have like 20 kids.
Oh, I'm so happy I don't have any kids.
I'm glad you're happy. I don't know. I could go for a kid right about now.
Oh, yeah? You think you'd like to have a child running around during this?
Just me and my kid hanging out. Yeah, just me and my kid hanging out, playing games, bonding. There'll probably be a lot more kids they're saying after this,
Yeah, there's going to be a big boom in 9 months. That's what they're saying because people are inside fucking.
Well, more power to them. Good for them. Hope they're enjoying their time.
I mean,
Yeah, well, it's a tough time to be an American. It's a tough time to be a Jew. It's a tough time to be a human being right now. But, try not to be an idiot. They think you should stay inside, and, wash your hands. Jordan, I've been washing my hands wrong my whole life. I had no idea.
what do you mean by wrong? You just mean not long enough.
I guess not long enough. I didn't realize I had to sing happy birthday to each hand.
Well, you want to keep being able to sing happy birthday. Keep doing it.
Wash your hands, everybody.
Yeah.
And thanks for listening. We hope you guys are out there. We're sorry that we missed a couple weeks.
Yeah, listen, we've been trying to figure out what the hell's going on in the world here, and so I'm glad we finally got this back together because the world needed us.
The world definitely needs us. Check us out on Instagram at American Jew Podcast, on Facebook, American Jew Podcast. You can email us. What should we talk about next week? AmericanJewPodcast@gmail.com. Check me out on Instagram at Jonathan Randall.
You can always find me on Instagram at BeatnikNudnik, and you can follow my other podcast, Where's the Grief, on all platforms as well. Yeah.
Stay healthy. Coronavirus is not kosher.
It is not. And none of us have it in this podcast yet. Ta-ta.